Hello, my name is Joe Molesky from J.D. Molesky & Associates, and I'd like to talk about escalator steps in this blog, our video blog efforts. Our aim is education and safety, and let's get started. This is an escalator step, obviously removed from the escalator, and it's something that probably everybody watching this has ridden on a number of times and probably doesn't know a lot about. So I'll start out with the very basics. Escalator steps, they come in various sizes. This one is 40 inches wide. In escalator terms, it would be called a 48 because they actually measure from handrail to handrail, but for these purposes, this step is 40 inches wide. All escalator steps are the same depth, about 16 inches. All escalator steps, modern escalator steps, also have the same amount of rise. So that part is standard. Like I said, the only thing not standard is the width. This escalator step weighs about 50 pounds. It's off of a newer modern escalator. And this part is called the riser. These are the tread plates. This is obviously where you stand, and if you're standing here, we really have a problem. This stuff's a little bit dirty. It can be reconditioned. And I left it that way for a reason. In later blogs, we're going to go over reconditioning escalator steps because as escalator owners and service vendors, it is often the best economical choice and also safe choice to recondition a step rather than replace the whole unit. So, but that's a subject for later blogs. Anyway, this is the step. This is where you ride on. Some important things to know for the average rider. Looking at the step, you can see it's dry, it's dirty, which, as I said, that is how we left it on purpose. It'll be cleaned up as we go along. We'll show you how to recondition the step. But for now, you ride on this part. If you see oil areas, obviously wet with oil may be embedded inside the tread plate where the cleaners are difficult to reach into. That is a sign of a couple things. One is it has this condition, obviously slips and fall. If you see oil pattern down one area of the step, like here, perhaps here, maybe in the middle, and you'll see a row of these as you look up or down the escalator, that is an indication of a seal failure of the escalator gearbox. On certain escalators, the gearbox sits about 3/4 of the way up the unit underneath the steps. These steps make one continuous loop. Oil drips on them. When they go under the unit, it drips underneath the step and eventually works its way on top. You have a gear failure there, a gear seal failure in your gearbox. It has to be repaired. If you see that, that's what happened. Part of the repair, changing the seal in the gearbox. The other part of the repair is cleaning the steps and making them safe, dry, and proper to ride on. You don't want to be dragging oil throughout the arena, the store, the mall transit system, anything like that. You don't want to drag oil around. And that'll happen if these steps are not kept clean. I'm going to turn the step over, show you underneath of the step so you can see what we have. Like I say, this is all aluminum, steel frame. Some steps are all steel framed, some are all aluminum. Steel frame, rod here, rod there. This is your axles right here. This rides inside a set of tracks. There's another wheel that goes on here that goes onto the escalator chain. This actually grips the escalator chain, hooks onto it with a roller and an axle assembly. This is a pretty sturdy unit. Well, this has some insulation in it, by the way, from the building. These tread plates on these particular steps and the risers, they unbolt, and you can replace them as pieces. That makes it really economical to do repair on these units. Just because you break a tread plate, break a riser, you don't have to throw the whole thing away. What we look for cracks. Any type of stress cracks, areas, anything like that. When we look at a unit, we look to make sure all these nuts and bolts are tight on the inside. all the riser nuts and bolts. The tread plates are firmly attached to the unit. And we look it all over, and that's a good step. Pressure on the step, weight. I've seen these steps damaged. I've seen accidents caused by people placing freight on an escalator. I've seen escalators used as a trash chute, where the escalator is running down and trash is thrown down the escalator and somebody on the other end gathers it up. Damages the steps that way, the balustrades, the handrails, everything. I've seen ladders on these, I've seen scaffold on these. And one time, I've seen a scissors lift, changing light bulbs in a building. A couple £1,000 scissor lift was on these steps and they break. These steps are tested by 350 pounds placed in the center in one spot, and that's what they figure is the most you're going to put on an escalator step as you ride it. And I don't disagree with that. That's a great test. That's it for now. The next lesson we'll go over how the cone plates interact with the tread plates inside the steps. Thank you very much.